This is the If More Let's Divide podcast.
Yo, guys, Charlie, what's up? Welcome to the If More Let's Divide podcast. Season 4 is upon us, and we are happy that you are still here rocking with us. And like we always do, I never walk alone. I'm here with my co-host, Charlie. Frederick, what did happen?
We Liverpool vibes see the stars plus. Never walk alone. But yeah, Charlie,
Yeah.
bro. Hey, you they look sharp. Oh.
Yeah,
Kaftan
Charlie.
vibes. I they like them.
Yeah, I just felt like it, and I saw it in my stuff, and I picked it up to wear it. But I hate wearing kaftan because there is this thing about guys who wear kaftan with their
Packaging.
purses under their.
They go run you right
arms.
now. They go run
Yeah,
you, take your
Charlie.
money, no go pay back.
Yeah, I'm not a kaftan guy at all. I actually made this for a wedding, but I didn't wear it.
But I like the cuff.
Yeah,
The way
yeah,
it closes
yeah.
is very minimalist.
Yeah, Charlie. Thanks. Charlie, season 4 is here, and we are rocking it.
Mm-hmm.
Like we've done for season 1, 2, and 3.
Always.
Yeah.
Energy is right.
Yeah. As always, like
Yeah.
never ever, going to change. The energy, the spirit for this podcast is forever going to remain. Charlie,
Yeah.
Fred. I enjoy doing this to you, especially if you don't know our guests so well.
Mm-hmm.
Who do we have on this episode?
What I've learned today. From yesterday to today. I mean, I've known the name.
Yeah.
I think there's a track, if I'm maybe mistaken, I think with Jules that I heard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's one of my hollered. I know. It's just coming back to me now. But as I hear that track, I hollered Jules. I was like, yo, this is one of the dopest records I've heard you make. So with that background, I mean, I'm just listening, checking out his music. Seems like a politically minded,
Yep.
youth-driven, activist type of artist. So,
Yeah.
and he's also doing other types of art. So
Yeah.
it seems like we have a very interesting conversation ahead of us.
Yeah, and I'm actually looking forward for this conversation.
Yes.
We had a couple of people on our socials telling us that, Charlie, when are you guys going to bring this guy? When are you guys going to bring this guy? I'm like, Charlie, guys, relax. So yeah, Charlie, guys, and I'm actually looking forward to this conversation. So guys, help us welcome Worlasi.
Yes, sir.
Yo, Charlie, Worlasi, what they happen?
Charlie, I did.
Charlie, if I tell you the number of people who have asked the podcast to have you, so many. So I'm like, Charlie, it's just right. And me, I get your name down. I get your name down.
Bless.
Yeah, Charlie, what's going on?
Adeo, Charlie, we are trying to survive. We are trying to grow. We are trying to improve upon ourselves and be happy with ourselves and the decisions we have chosen in our lives. Improve upon them. Yeah.
You had a show with Sena Dagadu.
Yes.
It's not your first show with her.
No.
How did this one go, and why have you been collaborating with Sena Dagadu a whole lot nowadays?
I think she reflects what an artist could be, because when I started doing music, I did not have anyone to look up to and understand if it's actually possible to be a musician. I always look into my future as fast as I can, because if I don't understand, I'm a bit slow. So if I don't understand what's about to happen, then I might mess up. But with her, I can understand how it is to be a musician and still survive, still like have a home, have kids, take care of the kids, the business aspect of it. Her husband, it's not that he's teaching me, but like I learn from him whilst I'm working with him. So and Elo is a very brilliant man when it comes to managing. Yeah, he manages Ari Mafia, and then they perform for like large crowds, 60,000, 50,000
Yeah.
people. Like it's not a joke.
Yeah.
And at that level of craft and business oriented mentality, it's great for an artist like me at my age to just be around them, especially because I need it, and it's nice to also know that they need me around, because they also mess with my I can't use fuck in this thing, right?
Oh, feel free.
And they also fuck with my shit.
Yeah,
You know, so
yeah.
like it's nice to know that I'm wanted over there, and you know, it's the space is just beautiful.
Yeah, I couldn't come to your last show because we had a meeting.
Yeah.
Me, Fred, and Rudolph. We had a meeting. This is the first time I've missed your show. You know, I
Yeah,
am
you're
always there.
Yeah,
I am always there.
And you
I'm
be in
like,
front taking
yeah,
videos.
yeah. How did the show go?
Oh man, the turnout was terrible. In the beginning, I'll be honest, the turnout was terrible in the beginning. But as it was going, you know, Ghanaians like showing up at 10 p.m., 10:30, and it doesn't help a space like Alliance. Because they want to close like 11:30.
Yeah, they are strict.
Charlie Alliance, yeah, I mean, they don't play with their time. But yeah, that was the only thing. But the energy was amazing.
Yeah,
it was
as
great.
usual.
The people were like enjoying themselves. It was a mixture of both the Hungarians and Ghanaians. Some are mixed Hungarians and Ghanaians. There were Germans there. They were like you know, her crowd is a bit mixed.
Yeah, mixed.
But yeah, it was great. It was a nice experience. I got to meet new people. I got new contacts from different people. I got to meet people like working in spaces that are quite importance that I might need. You know,
that you can tap in
that
the
you
future.
can tap into in the future. You know, you have people working in spaces that you know that you might need in the future when it comes to, you know, business or travel or information, you know. And it's great to have these kind of people because you know that where you are coming from, no, you don't have people like that who have the opportunity to go to school or have the privilege of having those things.
Yeah.
So if you can't have it and you can't pay for it, you might as well learn it from someone. So it's great to meet people like that, and they connect with you with the music, and through the music you discuss certain things that you might want to also learn from them.
Yeah. Like you talking about meeting people and tapping into their networks, you know, in the future. In the last couple of years, you have visited Europe a whole lot. I don't know how many times, but I've seen you a couple of times in Europe with Sena Dagadu.
Yeah.
How was the experience like the first time you had a show in Europe? You know, bringing it back to Ghana, like you know, how do you compare the two spaces?
I would say the professionalism is different because I didn't grow up looking up to anybody. It was, I have a passion for a song. I did the song. It was nice. Hammer will call you, Sak will call you, this will call you. You do its part, and then, you know, so you are just moving according to where the music is flowing. But with these people, it's different. You know, before you even perform, you sign certain things so that you get paid for your money. You know, the timing is on point. People are working with walkie-talkie, like, you know, it's not be like Alliance with me here. Charlie, Zaki, wait, backstage, come backstage, you know. Like, I would say it is organized, you know, and if you're a musician, you know where your money is coming from. Before the year starts, this is not for me or it's for them. Yeah, I'm just watching what is happening there. And I'm tagging along because I'm part of the band. That's it. But I could tell the difference. You know, I also sign when I have to sign to get my money, you know, and it's you before the year even begins, you know what you are going to do next year. Like even today, I'm sure, not that I'm sure, I know. Sena knows what she's going to be doing next year. The places she's going to be performing, how much she's going to make. Like everything is, I think, structured. So compared to here, that is one of the things that I feel we don't have here, because we don't have constant gigs that are going to say they are going to call you. You have to create your gigs, which I think it makes us very resilient as artists. I like that because every year you have to do about 3-4 shows as an artist by yourself. If you are lucky and you find some organizations that help you, it's fine. Like last year, Belacqua came, we did a therapy concert. It was amazing. I was like, finally, like, you know, I'm getting people who are working with me and they are paying for everything. They are organizing everything. I just have to come and perform and they pay you. So we don't have that kind of thing constantly. Even if we did, you are not assured that you are going to be there all the time.
That's crazy.
So that's one of the difference that I feel like I got. And I also, the difference was also like the crowd, because the first time I went, I think Kendrick was performing that day. It was Seagate Festival. It was Kendrick was performing on the bigger stage, and we were performing on the African stage. It was a huge, huge festival, and just looking at the crowd, being in the crowd, watching Kendrick, I felt like an ant. The stage was like probably like 15 stories, 20, 30 stories.
Crazy.
And I have not experienced that kind of level of entertainment before. So I think one of those things like just propelled me to start going for these kind of shows.
Yeah.
And also it opens your mind as an artist that these things are possible. It can happen. So me cried, I had to call me rush. What are you doing for go stage? So I ran from the Kendrick's before and I went back. And it changes your mindset as an artist. It makes you feel closer to your goal. And once you feel that, it eases you up a bit. And even if you don't get it, you know that I was close to understanding it. It's a nice feeling. And being on stage with Sienna and the band, they're a band of like 12 or 13 people. Everything is like on point. You can't miss 1 minute. Missing 1 minute, but you can't miss 1 second. Or else you fuck everybody's phone up. You can't forget something. It's it's not our own that we are doing. Charlie, drive bang it. Like bang, bang, bang. Everything is ging. And if you miss, you miss. Like if you have to be on backstage waiting, Charlie. And then the crowd was huge. I had never performed to a crowd like that before. So I think that's constant gigs and exposure to bigger audience and maybe a sense of professionalism, And I'm not saying we don't have that here. Maybe I have not gotten a chance to perform on bigger platforms in Ghana, maybe. But per my experience, it showed me the different levels of entertaining people. I mean, that and both Coke Studio as well.
Coke Studio. You are Coke Studio.
That was also very professional.
Why do you think, from what you just said, why do you think you haven't had the opportunity to perform on bigger platforms here in Ghana?
Oh, Charlie, I performed with Saxon before once. So I think on.
But like it's like once.
It's just once. It's because they featured me and I have to be there. But like me myself, I don't have that kind of crowd. It's because it's a choice of song, it's a choice of language, and it's a choice of affiliation. And I know that is my fall shots in this music career. But it's everything is a choice and. I think I feel comfortable knowing I'm in my lane and nobody can take that away from me. I feel when you choose to be in a scene where is money oriented, you need to push marketing. Like, come on, man, we know how much people are putting into marketing their songs. Donda was $30 million. You think Kanye is a genius. He's a genius, obviously, but there is something behind. The whole Kanye is putting $30 million in marketing. Now Worlasi Langani. What like you understand? So I know that on a commercial basis, I cannot afford that. But it doesn't change me from creating. I still have to create. I still have to have my crowd. I have a crowd that is, respectful and waiting for me to create.
Die hard.
And I can't I can't stop making music as well. So, and I'm not from like a very rich home that to say, Charlie, take this, So I have to choose wisely in a very sustainable way because you can be a musician and be sustainable. You can travel, you can make money, you can be okay. It's not all the time that, you have to be in that space because I know people in that space who are also like telling me it's not easy, it's hard. So it's always a choice. So like I said, it is the language too. When you are speaking a language that few people understand, it is hard for you to connect with the locals. You understand? I know plenty Ghanaian musicians who are Ewes and they've never used Ewe in their music. If I tell you this person's Ewe, you won't believe. I know you know some of them. Because they understand the marketing aspects of music. I can't help it. It's interesting, so I like using it. And it's not like I don't use the other languages. I do, but I focus more on the Ewe. And that's why I'm even doing the next album, like 90% Ewe or 80% Ewe, So these are some of the foreshortenings for me, I believe.
It's good to have you here.
Thank you.
I'm thinking about how you got your start because through your statements you've said somewhat you didn't plan this.
No,
It
I did
kinda
not lie. It's not like
happened.
I knew that I was going to be a musician. I knew I was always going to be an artist, painting or teaching how to paint. I just started doing it. It was fun. I was home. I was waiting for results for the university. I think, you have to wait in the house for a year. I was bored. I got some Pentium 3 that was in the house. I think it was La Paz Goose. So it was difficult. Those.
Shouts to La Paz.
Shout out to La Paz.
Charlie.
Let me shout out. Come on. They got me everything I needed. And that's why I started making music. I was listening to YFM a lot that time too because I was home alone, and it's like I was asking myself, like, how is music made? At that point, I didn't even know how it was made. I was listening to it, I was like, how do they do this? Like, how do they make it? And I asked a friend, and was like, get Fruity Loops. You can start making beats. So I started making beats first before I started doing music.
Wow.
Singing.
And how old was this?
Oh, this is a long time ago. This is like, Jesus, this is like maybe 12 or 15 years ago. Like,
Wow.
But I was doing it and listening to it 12 years ago, 12, 11 years ago. I was listening to it myself for about 2, 3, 4 years.
Yeah.
And I was just enjoying it. And then one of my friends heard it and was like, oh, I know. Kwame X, actually. It was Bajimba I and Kwame X. By that time, we were in T-Poly, second year. And then they were like, yo, Charlie, this is cool. Like, it's not that bad. We have some guys, they're called SR, and then they helped me, Supreme Rights. And then we was with them for a year and 2. So shout out to Supreme Rights. They really helped. And they pushed the first album, Nusa. And shout out to Money, Charlie. Hard manager. I think he's one of the hardest managers ever. Pushed. And it worked. It worked. It worked. The first album, it worked. Hammer called us, yo, I heard your project is dope. Come to the studio. And when I got to Hammer called Shaq, Braffwall, Reggie Rackstone. Like, Hammer introduced me to all these people, through music, and like I said, that's why I said, like, I didn't have any professional, knowledge as to how to execute this. Like you said, it just happened, and that's why sometimes to me too, I don't take it too seriously. It's not that deep.
Yeah.
So you seem like a people's people. Like, you speak very raw, very real.
Yeah.
I went through your Twitter. Your music carries the same message.
Yeah.
Where you're talking about life in ways that maybe, for lack of a better description, musicians would do some small packaging. But it feels like you're trying to say it as raw as it is.
Yeah.
But what's motivating that?
Myself, I think, like, I can't be two people, where I'm living, who I'm with, the people I'm with, what I wear is what I can afford, is what I am. So once I, like you said, packaging, then I always have to package. And I don't have energy for the packaging. You say every day I come, I have to prepare. Like at the kind I for package, I for call somebody, yo, Charlie, I go fit borrow this, or this thing. Oh, Charlie, yo, like every time I have to like package some persona. And so I realized that why not be who you are in the song and in person, like as you are in real life. That way you don't have to worry about thinking about, because if you think about it, there's a lot to be thinking about. There's a lot to be thinking about. There's like, responsibilities to be catered for. And so why would you use your whole life but it works for some people, it just doesn't work for me.
Would you call yourself a celebrity?
Nah.
Why?
I don't even know what the word means. That's why I can't even say yes. But I think I'm saying no pair how we use it here.
Okay.
And I think the word is coming from celebrate.
Someone who celebrated.
So if some of my fans call me a celebrity, it's fine, because maybe they feel like I'm somebody that they would like to or they could celebrate. So that's fine. But per the general use of celebrity in our country, you know how we do oh, you're a star. You're a star. Like come on, we know what celebrities are and what they are capable of.
Yeah.
By private jet, you say,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like, okay, so like,
Yeah, so there's levels.
there are levels to it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like, relax, calm
Yeah,
down,
yeah.
and focus on how you can improve yourself. And if you want to package to down to you need,
Yeah.
because it comes with that style of making or being an artist. There's different styles of being an artist. It's like buying a car. There are types of cars. There's a pickup, there's Benz, there's, type Benz if you get pickup and so on. So like,
Yeah.
you just choose which one works for you.
Yeah. So now I know, or I'm sure that before you started, like let's go back to when you started, where you were not known at all.
Yeah.
No one knew you. Now I know that at least 10 people know you, right? When I say 10 people,
Yeah.
I don't mean 10
Yeah.
people, but
Yeah.
many people know you now.
Yeah.
How do you handle the fame? Like, do you?
It's some way.
Yeah, how do you handle the fame? Like when you are in spaces and people shout your name or come to you, like, is this something that you enjoy? Is this something that
I don't even
you are
lie.
able to
Nah.
handle, easily?
I don't even lie. It's not something that I really enjoy. It's fun. Once they call you and you talk to them, the connection is amazing. That is my favorite part. Like, because I have made something that I was in a space and then you were in a space and you heard it and you connected. So that at that moment, I feel like me and you get some connection.
Yeah.
That's the beautiful part of that. Yo wala, I like. That's the part I like.
Yeah.
But what I don't like about it is I feel like I can't have my own. Like, there was one time I went to this waterfall in Ibri, like on it was on a Tuesday. Can you imagine? I was choosing days that like
It will be
you
quiet.
can be, bro. I go to a place. There were two couples over there. They were like, yo, and I was like, I needed that space, like to like, you go to a restaurant and you want to buy food, and you just want to chill. The DJ will start playing your old songs, and I understand, though. I understand. I appreciate it. If I have some money, say sometimes I tip them because I know how the job they had, and they're trying to show appreciation. And I'm not saying they are broke, but like I'm showing appreciation for what you have done. But sometimes I wish I can also listen to what people are listening to. It refreshes your mind as an artist. Like I'm not mastering my song, but I'm mixing my song, arranging my songs. After that, somebody mixes. But like I hear it over and over and over again. So sometimes I get tired of hearing it, and when I enter a space to deliberately, I want to listen to what people are listening to. I want to listen to what is trending. And then when you go and then they are playing also. So right now when you go, what like what was it? These are some of the things that I wish it wasn't, but it comes with it. There are perks of the job. It comes with it. You can't change it. And it's nice. You just have to like, oh, bro, thanks for playing. And you have to dance to your song, But they don't play for too long, too. That's good. Because me and my songs, like, it's not even party song. Like, they just play the hits once, and then that's it. But I just sometimes I wish I can hide, like, and do things like the way, because I know some of my friends, that since they are doing this, I can't do something because everybody, you can't hide. Nana. You can't hide. I do everything.
What did you do where you want to do?
Charlie, since day I won't do, like, sometimes I wear hard safe. There was one time I just wanted to go to Accra Mall to watch a movie. And I'm not saying I'm famous, but like, I wear hat, wear shades, and they walk like this still. Like, and it's just one or two people will just come. And sometimes you just want to be like, oh, person, baby now, More what
does that mean?
It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work.
Yeah. I know what you are saying. Your family.
Yeah.
You have been mentioning your grandmother a whole lot.
Yes. Because they took care of me. My mom was young when I was born. She was.
How old was your mom?
Jesus, can I even remember? Maybe 26 or 25.
Oh, okay.
It's not that.
Yeah,
young,
it's not. Yeah.
But like, she was also trying to, yes, like, when I was doing this, I didn't have a child. And what I'm trying to say is like, it's like, I grew up with my grandparents and some of my aunties, my grandma and my granddad, and my grandma was home a lot, taking care of things, teaching us. and she was speaking like 8 languages. So she could speak Hausa, Fafra,
Wow.
Ga, Ewe, Fanti, Chi, yeah, and small pigeon. It's funny, but she tries English too. But it's like, it's funny English. She was a great woman. She only knew how to take care of us the way she knew how to, and sometimes Charlie, she go beat you some beating, like go say, but you growing up, when we sit down, we are eating and we are drinking, like now we are old. When we sit down, like, we realize that she knew no other way than that way, and sometimes we are angry, but we are extremely grateful. She's such an amazing person, and she's funny as well. Sometimes she mimics my grandfather, how my grandfather walks when he comes out. Like she's just a whole package of everything, And she was a beautiful woman too as well, pretty woman. So like, yeah, my grandmother is a G, man, and I look up to her and my grandpa. They have set the space and the pace for us to also add on. You realize that they worked hard to make things better to an extent for us that it wasn't for them. I'm not saying that we're driving Benz. No, we are not. But they made sure there was food in the house. They made sure we went to school. They taught us the traditions, respect the people who are in religion, respect the gods, go to church every Sundays. She'll make sure you go to church every Sundays. But she'll also go to the village and come and tell you, Charlie, I want to talk to the people and the gods, and they said this and this and this and that, And she's just letting you understand that these are traditions that you need to respect. So that when you grow up and you meet somebody saying something like that, you don't discriminate the person. She'll even tell you about Muslims and whatnot, So it's like she's, like I said, she's the whole package. And the whole package, I mean, some of them are not nice, but she's the whole package, yeah.
So you say is and then was.
Yeah, I was actually going to say.
Is she still around?
No, she's not around.
Yeah,
Okay,
that means, but I think that in you, deep within you still live with her.
Yeah, most definitely.
You still live with her.
Most definitely, because her teachings are still with me.
Yeah.
Like I feel like it has become a part of me, and it can't change.
When did she pass?
2 years ago.
Oh wow, recently.
Yeah,
recently. So you said she would go to your village and come and tell you that she
come and tell us that we went to call because my granddad passed before my grandma. And she has a way of coming to tell you, like, your granddad is okay, and in your mind you're like, Charlie, how are you talking to this man? But it's part of our traditions. I think it also helps with coping with death.
Yes.
Yes. I'm not going to sit here and say it's true or it's not true because I respect it. But definitely it's a coping mechanism for a widower because it's nice and it's satisfying to hear that somebody's saying, I spoke to your husband and he said he's okay, Some pastors do it too, Yeah, your father came to me, and then your daughter came to me, that kind of thing. So these are some of the things that made me respect both spaces, the tradition and then both religions and whatnot. I mean, too, Charlie, my crowd is filled with different people, Indians, like different people. So I'm happy that I got to experience that. I'll grow up with this, minute mentality and looking down on others and disrespecting people. So like, I appreciate that.
Where was your mom and your father during your days with your grandmother?
My mom was in Italy.
Oh, okay.
Sometime, and she was also in Takrady most of the time. But I used to go to Takrady to visit her. And that's why actually somehow I'm like I have some Tadi things. So every year we go to Tadi, we go and do AMAS and things. Because when we're young, we used to see them a lot. So me and my uncle, my cousin, every year we go to Tadi, and then we go and do AMAS, Ankos. It's a very vibrant thing. But anyways, yes, she was in Takrady for a while, and then she moved to Italy with my little sister. My dad passed when I was young, so
Oh,
that's
okay,
for him.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Talking about your grandmother and how she would go to the village and communicate with
Yeah.
whoever.
Yeah.
It's something that I'm very, very interested, about. For someone like you who is in the limelight,
Yeah.
you are in front of people and all that. I've heard people and I've been in spaces where they would say you have to protect yourself.
Yeah.
You have to protect yourself
Yeah.
because you
Yeah.
have eyes on
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
You have to protect
Yourself,
yourself
yeah.
just because.
Yeah, just because,
Is it something that you believe in?
Believe is a strong word. I don't think it's something that's deep that I have to believe in. Certain things you do it because you have to or you need to, because it could be possible. Like people always throw questions at me. Do you believe in God? Like I can't know if He exists or not. But what if He exists? So believe in Him just for the sake of not knowing.
Yeah.
With that concept in mind, I have not gone for any protection. Yet. Maybe one day I will go, but like I have not gone for any protection whatsoever from eyes, from people and whatnot. What I'm about to say might be a cliche and probably stupid in this kind of world that we find ourselves in, but like I do believe that when you do good with people or to people, it comes back to you.
Yeah,
And even
yeah,
if
100%.
even if somebody does something bad to you, the people who you did good to speak for you.
Yeah.
And
100%.
and I have so much focus on my craft and my ideas. Like I have wild ideas that I want to execute. Once I start focusing on these things, it takes away all that. Everything you do is going to be aligned or oriented along the sides of somebody's going to do something to me.
Yeah.
It reduces the quality of your ideas. It sabotages you as an artist mentally. You have a sense of stopping yourself from doing things before they even happen. An idea flows. Idea flows. Today you have an idea. Tomorrow you open Instagram. Somebody's doing it.
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah.
It's so you can't play with that. I'll use the word energy. You can't play with that kind of energy. It's crucial. It's amazing, and you yourself, you are happy. You like that kind of thing when ideas come to you.
Yeah.
So why then would you infiltrate that? With the mentality of because somebody's going to do this to me, I can't drive here. I can't go here. Whatever will happen will happen. And if somebody's going to benefit from your downfall, it could happen. There are certain things I believe that you can't change it. But if you can't change it, then why not? I also don't put myself in situations where somebody will be coming for me like that.
Yeah.
But like I said, if they do, then maybe that's what was meant to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talking about change. If you had a chance to change one thing about you or something related to you right now, what would
Oh
it be?
man, learning an instrument, man. I wish I learned an instrument. I'm on it. I'm trying to learn instruments.
Which instruments are you trying to learn?
Charlie, I tried guitar some years back.
Same.
I have not evolved because I've not been consistent and disciplined. I know, but at least I can use it to produce.
Yeah.
So I know I can play something. If I'm playing something, I can play along the lines of that. So the guitar, I still can't play that much, but I just have to learn more. Right now I'm on two other instruments. I don't want to say it so that I'll jinx it, but I'm on two other instruments now, and I'm like religiously trying to learn those. But that's one thing that I wish my parents forced me to learn.
Same.
I wish I did that, but it doesn't change anything. I have friends who are dope at playing instruments, so when it comes to the studio, it's another vibe. It's like
But as a producer, don't you think the keyboard is rather?
Oh yeah, the keyboard, but I understand the keyboard. Like I understand how it works.
Oh, okay.
So I can play what I want for production. I'm slow, obviously, because I don't practice.
Yeah.
But if I have an idea in my mind, I can play what I want. And if it's above my pay grade, I'll call somebody to come. I can call David Hammond to come and help. With keys or drummer from Sinku Live. These are amazing people who are like great at doing what they are doing, and with the kind of music I'm doing and how I'm trying to create, most times I don't need so much. Like sometimes less is more. So I use that that concept to create more, because I don't. Sometimes when you do too much too, it's like, oh, I like Charlie. It'd be too much. Hans Zimmer, that was like, you won't be Hans Zimmer or something. That'd be too much. You know. But yeah. I do understand. And working with Senku has helped. You know, they teach you. Working with them for a couple of years, you know, they teach you some certain things in music, terms in music and rhythms and whatnot. Yeah,
Senku is dope. Senku is dope.
Yeah.
I like your project with them.
No.
Is it
The Man and the God?
The Man and the God?
Yeah.
Yeah. That album is dope. Fred, how have you heard?
Yeah.
That album is dope, and that I want to talk about some songs on that album.
Okay.
Prick. You know what I mean, my prick.
Yeah.
What was why did you decide?
I don't know. Some of the songs, they just come. Like that song is one of the songs that I was like, no, be me, if you my prick, it just came. I don't know where it came from.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. I was working with, God, please don't let me forget his name. Andrew Banton. He was, he's an actor and a guitarist. I think based in London. He came to Ghana for a while. I met him through Adoma, and it was amazing. He came to the studio. He was playing some guitars, and he played something. I was like, "Oh, keep that one," and I just got that little riff, and I just repeated it. It was just like that. It was just, and it's. I think it's sometimes it's nice to make fun of certain things. Most people were not happy about the song, because they said, "I am encouraging men to not take responsibility for sticking their penis in other women's or other men's private parts." So it's like, but sometimes the music has to be comic. I'm not the first person doing this. James Brown has done it. You know, it's a comical way of letting your spouse also laugh about it, because at the end of the day, you have to move on. When it comes to things like that, I have couples that come to my show, and anytime I play that song, the women are angry at the first time. They're like hitting the men, and then the men are like, "Yo, be rapping," you know. And then at the end, in the middle of the song, the women are dancing with the men. You know, it's the same thing. Like We All Go Die. Yeah. You know. I have old people sitting there, and I know the fear they have towards death, but they sing along, and they understand that it's inevitable that, you know, these things happen or might happen or has happened, you know. Yeah.
I actually rinsed that album when it came out, and once in a while I still listen to it. Another song that I like about on that another song on that project that I really like is Okwasia.
Yes.
You know, I like the groove. I like the melody. Oh, Okwasia.
What's the one? Like a very, very Akan oriented, and it did its work. Like all the people that, you know, listen to my song, and those who don't listen to my song and they want to hear Tree, they're like, "Oh, that's a song we like." It's nice to hear you speak Tree Worlasi. You know, it's nice, and
it's kind of rare.
It's rare. So I made sure that song was fully Tree, or maybe I think 60 or 70% Tree. But I like that song too. It's like I said, Kutianyombi.
Yeah, I don't know who produced this song, but I like the production. I don't know the title. It's all gone.
Senku.
Senku.
This
you know, it actually reminds me of church.
Yeah, the whole album is
Senku.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, the whole album is Senku. So we sat down, and then shout out to Dromo again. Shout outs to The Bass. Shout outs to Quist. Shout outs to Theo K. Shout outs to who am I missing? I'm missing Nite. These are the guys. Obviously, like they produced everything. Yeah. So it was just one discussion. I was like, "Yo, Charlie, this OCBSA vibe is it's running away. Nobody is like conserving that type of music. So like, let's do something that is like oriented to like the high life, but you know, like the OCBSA vibe." And they were like, "You know what? Okay, cool." After some weeks, they sent samples. The only song that I had an influence in is Prick, because that one I produced it in my studio, And even that they had to add, they added something. They were like, nah, well, this is too raw. Let's add something. You know, they're like that. They like to make things better. Yeah. And animate, which I started with the bass line, you know, and then the moment we started playing the bass line, everything just came together. It's so easy, like when I'm working with them.
Yeah.
And most of the songs, we create them whilst we are rehearsing, because when we are rehearsing and we are taking a break, somebody can be playing like something out of, you know, just for fun. I'm like, keep it.
Yeah.
I like it. And I'll be doing something, and then the rest of them will just join in easily. I don't have to say anything. So like everything is syncu, like 98% syncu live. Yeah, just 2 songs that I was, the rest,
Syncu.
yeah,
Shout
shout out to syncu. Shout out to syncu.
Okay.
This album is which album again?
The Man and the God.
Okay, is that the one that
Well,
you
I-
had
I-
a song about whether you're God or we all be God?
Every man
Okay.
be God.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Worlasi, what does Worlasi mean?
Wala means God, C is head. Worlasi, so the God has head. In some dialects, Asi is hand, like Ashi is hand also. So some of them are also, some people will say is God's hand, and others will say God has head. But mostly is God has head. But it's been a debate since, and I don't mind the debates. Whichever is working, it means my name has 2 meanings, and whatever these 2 meanings come with, I'm taking all the blessings. But it's God has head or God's hand. So the Wala is God. It means the Wala is literally creator. So it's creator, the creator. The Wala make it one, as you know, somebody the ones that
That's your actual.
that's my actual name. The one that makes, so like Wala, that's my actual name. So it's my middle name on my passport. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
It was hard to choose an artist name, so I was like,
And also your music. One of the ones that the last one that you put out
yeah.
on is an EP, right?
Yes, it's an EP.
So there's a few songs on there, Jealousy.
Yeah.
But the one that I guess sat with me the most this evening, this on my second listen, was actually the last track where you guys are just talking about therapy, Abla's system.
Yeah. With Obi and Posa.
Yeah. How many people were on that conversation?
It was my 2 best friends, Francis Afumegam, Kwame X, the guy that introduced me to the first team. And Atakuma. She's in South Korea now. Obi and Ponsa, Lexi. These were the 5 people. I invited them to the studio. We sat down because I was doing the album, it was about therapy, and I was like, you know what? I want to hear, because in my head I'm like, we don't go for therapy. Like Ghanaians, we didn't go for therapy, you know. And I didn't want the album to be about what I think. I want people to understand that it's not just me, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, has some form of contact with, you know, therapists and what, growing up in their family, you know, that thing is there, you know. So I brought somebody that, you know, he didn't go therapy before, and people who didn't go therapy, put them together and see how the conversations will go. And it was brilliant. I just asked one question, and it was just, I didn't say anything. They were just going bang, bang, bang. It's like a 2-hour conversation. I had to cut it to like 5 minutes or 3 minutes. So one day, Mr. I go release all, but it was
I was gonna
fun.
say you have to put all out.
Yeah. It's I just don't have a podcast platform, so maybe I'll give it to you to put it on your platform.
Allah.
Yeah, because it's long and it was funny. It was funny.
It
was funny.
So part of the reason why I was asking is to try and see if there's any relationship between you saying your grandma will go back to the village, it being some form of a coping mechanism, and the conflict between her being somewhat Christian and then also going to consult the gods to say they said this and that. And then now this idea you're trying to introduce, asking your friends about therapy and so on and so forth. Because when I listen to your music, I feel there's some traditional element to you, and then there's also some modernism, some Western connection. How do you feel about all of those worlds clashing in terms of what you're trying to achieve with your music and what the message you're trying to get across? Do you feel like, because if we didn't have therapy as an official profession and practice, but maybe going back home to talk to somebody and the person says, I've spoken to your husband, it's okay. Maybe traditionally we recognize the need for therapy, but it presented in a different kind of way.
Yeah, first of all, I want to remove the word conflict and clashing. I was only clashing when I was young because that time I was like 6, and then my grandma is like, "Where's your church clothes? You have to go to church every Sunday," and I was like confused. I was like, "What's happening?" Because you're in church, and then the Sunday school teacher is telling you, lesser gods, lesser gods. So there was a conflict back then. But when you are growing into it, you realize that it is people who are in these spaces. It's human beings. This is the same person that was cleaning my bottles, same person that was feeding me. And she's doing this. She's going for this one too. She's a respected person in the church. And they know that she also respects the traditions. These are traditions. It's not like what we are talking about. And even if it is, it's still a tradition. It's a culture. There is no clash in it. I know couples who are letting their children go to learn from Muslims. The next Sunday, they'll go and learn from Buddhists. The next Sunday, they'll go and learn from teaching the kids all these ideas or ideologies of the concept of God. It opens the mind of the child. We believe two things coming together is a clash, but growing up, I believe they made me believe and understand that having two things come together is knowing more. So this is a space where I know this. If I put them together, then I know more than you. So when I go to a space where they know what I know, I can communicate with them in an easy way. It's like going to a room full of guys who know about football. You don't know anything about football. You sit there, you can't say anything. You can't communicate. You can't even vibe with them in any way. Meanwhile, you're trying to find some gig with one of these big men. You go to a golf course, you can't, I don't know whether that's what it's called, but you go there and you can't communicate with anybody, but you want to go and look for money with these people. Knowing things, 2 things, 3 things, 4 things makes your mind open, doesn't clash anything. The only way it clashes is you limiting the beliefs of the two. Because your mind is telling you this is bad and this is good. But if your mind is telling you this is good, this can be bad, but I know all, then you are opening your mind to the thing. So my parents, my grandparents and my parents, my aunties made me understand that knowing the two, indirectly, it's not like the sat down and told me, indirectly, you realize that they are teaching you, and you start understanding that these things are things that it improves upon your mentality and the way you think, about people, about things, and how you approach things. You end up respecting everybody, no matter what,
Have you ever been to therapy? Have you ever seeked help?
No, I haven't. But I've spoken to a therapist before. I went to ask a lot of questions before I did the album. Shout out to Dr. Caroline. I've forgotten his surname. Worlasi, this is my brain. Dr. Caroline was one of the biggest inspiration for that album, because when I was writing the album, I was okay, but I got to a point I was like, I need professional insight. I sat with her for about 2 hours, and it was insightful. I even considered that as a therapeutic session, even though I went to ask questions. It wasn't like she's asking questions about me, where I grew up and whatnot. But it's something that I'm very, very looking forward to. It's just quite pricey. That is why I've not gone, and I really, really do have other priorities that I have to take care of before I can start doing that. I know where I'm coming from. I know what I have, and then I know that I have to do this one before I can do this.
What's also the reason behind the album name, The Therapy, but it was broken into two?
It was big, because I wanted it to be a rap album. That's why it's full rap. It's like always rap. It's just chorus. I was tired of, there was this debate on Twitter sometimes where some people saying, well, as you call a rapper. And I was just angry. I was like, these people. And I was like, okay, cool. So I just did it, because most people don't know. But those who know me know that I was rapping before I was singing. And somehow the singing caught fire, and, all these bigger artists were like, come and sing for me. And I was doing choruses and hooks for people, because that one was easy for me, And I felt like I had a lot to say. and singing doesn't cut it. You sing and you repeat it. It doesn't cut it. You say one word, go. No, I had a lot of things to say. Like you sing, you can stretch one word. Like you can even stop and do ooh.
Yeah.
What is going on there at that place? I was tired of singing, and I was like I have a lot to say.
Yeah.
And I had a lot to say. So the album, you guys see, I was talking plenty.
Yeah.
And it was a good way to like ease and express myself. So even Dr. Carol was like, this is a good thing for you as well. It's brilliant, it's good, you should express yourself. And music has been that for me ever since. Like it's been a way for me to express myself. It's been a way for me to learn and teach. Like, cause if I hadn't chose this title, like I wouldn't go and sit with a therapist to learn anything about it. So I've learned so much with the topics that I choose to write about. I learned so much. And even I go back to listen to myself and I relearn and I remind myself,
Another common topic that runs through most of your songs is politics. Why do you feel the need to talk about politics
Because
in
I'm
your
feeling it.
songs every now
because
and
I'm
then?
feeling it. Because I'm feeling it. I'm an artist. I have to express what I feel, and I'm expressing it because I'm feeling it. That's the answer. Like, why do I feel the need to express? Because I'm feeling it. Like if I write a song about breakup, it's because I'm feeling it. If I write a song about a fictionate character or a fictional story, it's because I'm feeling that, fiction.
Yeah.
It's because I'm feeling that. Me and my boys, they sit down. If we dey talk, we go feel laugh, and once in a while, you go past Charlie. I cry hard, though. I cry hard. Then we go talk, and then I'm like, Charlie, this thing is happening. And also, I believe that music is another form of marking history. Like preserving history. Sorry. So that historians can find a way through it. Maybe all my songs might be erased in 200 years, but if it's not, and something is happening here, and then maybe the news is writing something else, or whoever did it is lying that they didn't do it, somebody will sing about it, somebody will write about it, somebody will talk about it. It might not go far, but if you do a record and the record is there, so on Apple Music, it's not going anywhere, right?
Yeah.
They can always go back and say this song was released 2023, the time that somebody puts money under somebody's bedroom, and then we can find that it actually happened. So it is a form of creating, immortalizing the fuckery that we are going through. Because if we don't do it as artists too, then what are we doing? We all with the city here, we have learned this. Like we've learned about people, the history of artists, the history of musicians. All these people who are saying, you've learned about these things. It is another way of preserving history. But we tend to forget about it because we are living in the now. So like, they occur to it. But when you go to school, they'll teach you to learn the biography, or biography of artists that you look up to, or we look up to, everybody looks up to. And it's quite fun to talk about because I say it in a fun way, so that we can all laugh about it when we come to, you come to my show, we all sit down, we laugh about it, and then we go and sleep. It's nice. It's really fun to even make it a form of entertainment instead of like, I'm not saying go and take like gas and go and cut people. No, like let's laugh about it, but we're talking about it. It's necessary. So it's very funny when I hear people say, stop this and focus on the music. Like my career is I'm doing what I'm doing in this country, and if the country is messed up, it affects me. I know people who keep saying, "Oh, don't talk about this," but they can't fill spaces, they can't do shows, they can't do anything because, Charlie, the currency makes some way. People know they buy tickets anymore. People are not showing up, and you not say anything, but you're suffering. And I understand people are also scared for their money and whatnot, but I don't believe that happens. It hasn't happened to me yet, so I'm happy, and I'm hoping that doesn't happen. It doesn't happen.
You have a record. I don't know if the title is Madam Speaker, but it's recurring.
Foco,
yeah, Madam Speaker kept popping up.
Yeah.
And then I'm going through your timeline. I see they play your record in Parliament, which it's kind of
that was last week.
Like you didn't. Imagine what
Yeah,
happened.
tweet. I saw you
Yeah.
tweet.
Yeah, it was last week. These are some of the things I'm saying. Like people keep telling me, when you do songs like this, you know, my mom was like, I'm working on this new era album, so sometimes I go to her and I seek, you know, words and explanations, and she was like, so what's this album about? And I'm like, why are you asking? He's like, please, I beg you, don't do politics. I'm scared they'll do something. I'm like, I'm not doing it in a way that I'm calling people's names and whatnot. Like, I'm just telling people what's happening, you know, so just don't be scared. But the next one is not even going to be political. I have so many projects that are not political. Therapy wasn't political, you know, like so many. It was just because of the demonstration, and I felt like it was needed as an artist to contribute to happening, you know. And it, you know, it helps. It's just helps.
So the question I was heading to was about when you do these things and you talk about the politics of it, what's happening in the country.
Yeah.
What's ultimately, I mean, because we have to laugh or we'll
cry
cry.
about it. Yeah.
But ultimately, what are you hoping to accomplish?
Awakening. When a child is watching cartoons and the hero is a white person with blue eyes, there is a hero complex on the child. Even though you are entertaining the child, there's still an influence.
Yes.
If I'm talking about these things and we're laughing about it, people are serious. When I'm performing these songs, some people are shouting, voila, because they understand what is happening and they are also angry about it. So you can see that they're expressing themselves. They are free to express themselves, and at the same time, they're entertaining themselves. So they don't have to go home and use another channel of expressing how angry they are. So I feel like it's a form of therapy to myself and to the people around me. That's why I call it the angry African. Africans across the world are angry. Even Africans in the States are complaining about the state of our nation, even though they are not here. That is how bad the anger is. Somebody who is not even enjoying it, they are angry that they are not in their country enjoying their country because somebody is useless in it and they have to stay there and work extra harder for something that is not even, do you understand? So the anger is huge. So one is therapeutic, and two, I feel like is like sparking a fire. You start you start the fire, somebody will come and put stick, somebody will come and put pot, somebody will put food, and then we will all eat. So I feel like when you talk about things like that, it's a spark. You know, it opens the minds of the people that this is happening, and it also makes them feel like we can talk about it. You know, it's democracy if you think about it.
Yeah.
And like you know, like you said, just 3 days ago, they are using some of the songs in Parliament for a debate. So these people know that is happening. The same people we are scared of that they are going to do something to us when we speak, they know it's happening, and I'm sure they are even hoping we talk about it more so that they can also use it as a form of expressing their points in Parliament.
Yeah.
You understand? So it's like it's if it's happening and you're an artist, you owe it to yourself and your surrounding to do something about it in the way that you can. You can do it in a funny way. You can do it in your own artistic way. You know, you can do it in a very abstract way, but you're still doing it, you know. And I've never, in my schooling, I've never read any great artist who hasn't, what's the word? Added on, there's a word for that. Who hasn't done anything to add to what was happening in terms of what was happening politically, even in Tomasev. Yeah. Some of them are named because of what was happening. There's a cloth that is named something hunger or something, and it's because at that time in Ghana there was hunger. You understand? So these are some of the things, like it's a flow. You can't stop the flow.
Like the cloth they named after Obama and stuff.
Exactly. There's a cloth named. There was even cloth 50th anniversary. There's a cloth like that. So that can serve as a reference for even artists. Oh, maybe this time the artists were doing texts like this. This was what was trending. These strokes were trending. These colors were trending. It's a flow of life. You can't escape. If you want to escape it, it's fine. But sometimes, you know, it's nice to just go with the flow of, like, I didn't want to do Angry African. That wasn't the plan. I was working on this era album, all positive, and I came back from Europe, and then 2 days after demonstration, I was like, okay, Charlie, this is the energy that I'm getting. So let me just go with the flow and be part of this, in my own way. Because I was also feeling some form of anger. And it was a beautiful experience to just knowing that people are now talking and open to see how they feel about what's happening.
What's one thing currently going
That's
on?
the word I was looking for. Contribute.
What's one thing bothers you about Ghana currently? What's going on now that is like, getting you angry, gets you thinking?
I will know. It might be one of the most least important things to other people, but mine, I think, is trees.
What?
Trees. Trees and cleanliness. That's what. If the people are suffering, at least make the place like make the place nice for them so that they can go and sit.
Yeah.
I don't want to compare, but like in certain spaces, even when you are stressed, you can go and just sit somewhere in a park, sit in a park, and it's like at least, But here, if you sit outside, the sun will go. I drove to.
It cannot even be healthy, Charlie. The sun with the experience right now.
I drove to Tema just today, this afternoon. I was going to look for some kente weaver over there, 1 hour away from Accra. And the road is extremely dusty. The plants that are in the middle of the distance to not taken care of all has become bush and is brown. And I'm like, we are not in Tamale. How is this even happening? And Hamatan is gone.
Yeah.
You understand? Like, it's like, and the trees all, have you put my leg for the chance?
Go, Charlie. Feel free.
And the trees all too, they are cutting it.
Yeah.
And they'll put kiosks there.
Yeah.
And there are people who are in charge of this. Nobody's doing anything. You can't take a walk. And I know people, when I was growing up, I knew people in my neighborhood, people I used to look up to, like, even when I'm going home and I'm trying to enter my house, they'll call somebody to come and open the gates for me because it's a neighborhood. Everybody is looking out for each other. And these same people have grown old. You see them trying to just get out of their small chamber and hall to take a walk, and the sun is blazing.
Yeah.
Older people they don't have jobs now. They don't have anything to do. Like, there's no space for them to even sit and relax. Those times, bus stops, it be 3 way, it be bus stops. If 3 days there, then it be bus stop because somebody play dummy for there.
Yeah.
Or somebody sell like granules, then plantain for there. Those were the bus stop. They cut them down. So right now, if you want to go, if you want to go take church yourself, no place there you go stand.
Yeah.
The place where the 3 days they cut them, and they're not even putting anything there. I'm speaking for my neighborhood though. I know there are some neighborhoods here that you can't even cut trees.
Today, literally this afternoon, I saw someone cutting down this big tree, American house, at the Shell filling station, right across former Paul's office. They were cutting a tree right on the pavement, and I'm sure that tree is like 50
years old.
Charlie plus.
Look at the beach road.
Yeah.
When we're growing up, in front of Jokers.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Series of trees.
Plenty, all of
in
them.
the middle. The architecture. Why can't you just make the road around that tree? It wasn't bothering anybody, and you're not driving there now. You just put pavement.
They'll tell you.
So they could have.
It will break the wall or something.
It's
Like,
crazy.
and in Kenya they are doing this. Not Kenya, sorry. In Rwanda they are doing it. I read somewhere. If it was wrong information, then it's fine. So basically, what they do is they plant the tree 6 feet. So they dig a big hole and they plant the tree. So the tree grows 6 feet off the top. So you realize that the roots are deep down. So before you even build a house, the tree's roots are not going to affect your building. Here is the case whereby our trees, because of erosion, obviously, because no gutters there, the trees are showing. You can't even see some of them. You can't even see the roots.
Yeah.
You can see the roots, and people even sit inside the roots. Like, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but like that's what causes us to cut them because it's affecting this. And I'm not saying you can't trim trees. You have to trim trees. It's affecting. Sometimes they grow and cover traffic lights. You have to trim it. It grows. It touches the electricity. But
We just have a terrible maintenance culture.
Yeah.
It is terrible. It's terrible.
Like people don't see.
Terrible.
Like seriously,
You don't see
right?
the value of it.
Yeah,
They don't see the
and
value
they
of it.
don't see that trees are living beings.
Me, I
course.
think they see the value. I swear, because these same people, you see them at Atomic, that's botanical, Legon Botanical Garden. You see them going there with their t-shirts and white cambo, and then they'll be taking pictures there in the greenery.
Yeah.
These same people, and then these same people, they'll drive to Ebri to go and chill and enjoy nature. They'll drive to Volta region and say we are going to enjoy the greens and the nature. And in my head, I'm like, why can't you put the green in your house? Perfect example, our president. Look at his house. We all knew that house before it became that house.
Yeah.
Me, I used to go there because I know somebody that had a hotel around that place.
Right.
So
Chilling.
So like it's like I knew that building. I didn't even know it was for His Excellency. The moment he came to power, bro, there was a whole garden in front of the house. Like even our president understands the importance of trees and like the beautification and like it. They understand. They know.
But he said he was going to make her cry the most beautiful. Okay, it's okay.
But you see, like even he knows. So like, if not anything, let's learn. If he's not going to do it for us, let's learn from our president. You know, but at the end of the day, there are other pressing matters
Yeah.
that
Wait,
they have.
how did we even
Get here.
get
because you
talking
asked-
about trees?
Because you asked me what I hate about Ghana,
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah,
me, I
true.
think that's what I do because
Yeah.
maybe it is because of my kind of job. You know, like I need to be in serene spaces to think or something. You know, like I don't have a 9 to 5. I have a 9 to 5, but it's in my studio. You know, so maybe for people who go for 9 to 5, they don't need that.
Yeah.
But me, I think it's necessary because you go to some DB's house in Cantonment or East Legon and then you see plenty trees. Even the East Legon put there is worse. Like some of these houses.
They're turning everywhere into a concrete jungle.
Concrete,
We're
it's
losing-
terrible. It's
we're
terrible. It's
losing-
terrible.
yeah.
So-
and I don't blame them.
Yeah, so talking about Parliament, somewhere recently they I mean the anti-LGBTQ
Yes.
law that's that has been passed. The president's waiting for the president to either amend it or not. What's your take on that?
Charlie, this matter there. You see, this issue, let me be very honest with you. You can't speak for people you are not. That's one. So, because you might end up saying something that they don't want you to say.
Yeah.
So before I even answer you, if I say something that I'm sorry, maybe I'm trying to speak for you, but I'm not saying it well. So I apologize in advance. We cannot be in a space where people can't express themselves. I, for one, should be the one to say that because I like expressing myself, And so these people need the people who are, being spoken. They need that space to express themselves. You can meet a couple kissing in public, a cis couple kissing in public, but we can't have that in our spaces because obviously this is something that's okay, Charlie, we can't do because and I don't blame the nation to an extent because we grew up being taught that we are in a country that they are building a cathedral. What are you expecting? You understand? Instead of hospitals or schools. So it's a tricky situation. I feel like it's time. It will take time for the people to understand that these same people are part of us and they've been part of us since. And it's been there since. It's not now that we will come and make it look like they are new people. No. It's been there since. It's just that the form of expression has been taken away from them. And that's me. I don't stand for. I feel like people should be able to express themselves. And we like where we've gotten to. I just saw a phone that you can fold and put around your hand. There are TVs that don't have frames. It's a plastic.
Yeah.
Like there are things Chinese people are building houses and things. This is not what the government should be doing. They should focus. They should let these people be. They should let them do what they want. That's what I think. And then they should focus more on improving upon the lives of the people. Because Charlie, it's disheartening to see people struggle and people are being molested and chased down the streets, because because of what they've chosen to do with their private parts. Meanwhile, you are also doing what's
all
it like?
kinds of things.
Things with yours, So me, I feel like it's a banter, and it will take time, but it's slow but sure. It will happen, and everybody will come close. We are now doing this. Like years ago, Americans were trying to also do this, so it will take time for us to also get there. But Charlie, we need to let people express themselves the way they can. So far as it's not affecting anyone, I think we should allow people to express themselves.
I mean, I love that you've basically summarized what a lot of people who are, regardless of how you lean, even whether you believe that they should do this or they shouldn't do this, I think ultimately any society, any culture, the moment we put a gag order on people, the moment we silence people, we have retrogressed.
Thank you.
We have
Slavery.
we have slipped into a dangerous. That also is a dangerous precedent, because then government can decide to say, how do you express yourself, and your freedom of speech and expression has been taken away. So I hope that the better judgment of all of the people who are in charge comes to bear, because it's just a heinous way to tell people that, Charlie. I mean, you go feel oppress somebody, and you go feel tell and say this is not acceptable, but to take away their voice, to say, listen,
you can't do this.
That's crazy.
It's like, and it's Charlie. It's wild. It's a tricky thing, It's a tricky thing. Like I for one, Charlie, I don't have much to say about it, because, like I said, I am not inside it so well, so it's difficult. And I have friends who tell me, if you don't understand what we are going through, don't say it. You understand? So me, I know I can't speak for them, but I can say that generally, you can't oppress people from expressing themselves, so far as it's not harming you or the nation. I don't think they have to be suppressed because of what you think is right and what you think is wrong.
You have been using social media a whole lot. You use especially your Twitter to reach fans, to engage fans, to promote your songs and all that. Do you think you started this art form at the right time, when there is social media, especially for an artist like you? At the beginning, you said that, you don't have like 30 million like Kanye to market your songs. Do you think you came in at the right time because of social media, the Instagrams, the Twitters and TikToks? If imagine all of these were not here now, how would you have pushed your songs?
I will never know, because I wasn't born then, so I'll never know. Because the only way you can know this is when you were born there to know how it's done. Maybe back then it would have still happened. It's like, I think these things are inevitable. Like when I started doing this, through whatever Hammerhead, the song, called me to the studio, we worked on a whole compilation. Maybe back then somebody like Hammer would have also called and said, let's come to the studio. Then I could have been one of those, So I don't think there was a right time or there was a bad time. I feel like there was a right action of expression, and its ripple effect onto whatever that could help. Because that wasn't the only way we hyped it. Actually, I had little followers. We had to use radio. So shout outs to Miss Na, shout outs to AJ. These two really helped me. DJ Kes, Akusha Hansen. These people really helped with pushing my songs and whatnot. It's just recently that because I'm talking about politics, some big presenters will call you and say, "Oh, come," and I know why they are calling me, because they want to to hear what you have to say. But when we're singing and doing arts, and don't call you to come here, don't help you. And even when you sit there, don't ask you about the song. So it's I think it's the same people. It's just different medium. It wouldn't have changed anything, because still, like Hammer go hear me, call me, say me I can't studio. Nothing would change. In terms of marketing, maybe reaching would have been harder, but I believe that my song went to people that liked music. It wasn't for like consumers. So it's only those who liked it that heard it, and they helped me to reach the consumers. So I think it would have still happened the same way. We spoke about Senna Dagadu. Shouts to Senna.
Another person you have been collaborating with is Manifest.
Yeah.
How did you guys link up?
Same album,
And-
same first album, yeah. Yeah, and same for that first album, Nusa.
Yes, sir.
First album.
Yeah.
I think the manager had it, and the manager was like, "Oh, this is dope. Come around." We came around. That same day, we did like 3 songs, I think. Yeah, I think that was a Nowhere Cool album.
Yeah.
And since then, the synergy has been great. Like, it's working with him is, there are people that when you're working with them on songs, it's easy, because you are in, maybe, I don't know what it is. Like, it's this flow, it just flows.
Yeah.
And so I stick to those people, and they respect my time, they respect my craft. They don't come and tell you, sing like this person. No, they play for you. How do you feel? And then I work according to my, and I'm not saying that I don't work according to people's, this thing, but it's nicer working with them because they make it fun, so Manny made it fun. Manny, shout out to Manifest, shout out to J Soul, shout out to Mr. Fui. Chikata, great family too, and I think his family too they've been really nice to me. Like,
nice.
I think I like going where I am appreciated.
Yeah.
That is all. Full stop. It makes it easy. You learn from them. They teach you things, and you look up to them because in my family everybody's corporate oriented. I think so. I don't have people in the music to learn from. So when I find people like Manifest, they show you that, okay, you can do this, you can do this. The rest, they only call you when it's like it's work. I think Jules is also one of them. Shout out to Jules.
Who else are you looking forward to work with, or who else do you want to work with?
Andre 3000.
But he
Dr. Dre.
But he's now playing flute.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's not.
Or sample. You say you go chop.
Yeah. It's still cry. It's not even about the music. It's just hanging with them, talking to them.
Yeah.
Having like productive and like futuristic conversations with them. Opening your mind in certain ways because some things you cannot know until somebody triggers it. So yeah, Andre 3000. Dr. Dre, Dr. Dre, Rhapsody. I like that lady. Amazing.
She's dope.
Black Thought, even though I've already worked with him, I still I want to be able to sit in the studio with him. Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole.
You're not mentioning anyone in Ghana.
I've not gotten. Let me finish.
Okay.
What will I say? Females. That's this lady that I've been wanting to. I like Mary J. Blige. Even though she's OG, I love her. Sorry, Timberland. Stonebwoy, Shatawale. I Manifest there again. Actually, Manifest again because I like working with him. He always asks for fresh ideas. Jules. Who else? There's so many people I have in mind. I don't know why they're not popping up. But these are some of the people that I would love to. I would love to work with Hans Zimmer. Amazing.
Wow.
I love him. I love Hans Zimmer. Who else? Yeah, so far plenty people.
So let me ask, and it's just because you mentioned him first, $100,000 or dinner with Andre 3000.
I'll take $100,000 and I'll find my way to Andre because I can find my way to Andre with $100,000.
Your grandma is smiling right now.
Definitely $100,000 because I can get there with 100,000. Just book tickets.
The beat go kwa.
Oh, go kwa. It affects me, mom. I fuck up small, but I go do. I mean, it did part of it. The perks of growing up at that time.
Solid.
Yeah.
One part of you that people don't really know is how you are an amazing visual artist.
Yes.
People know you for the music,
amazing,
but you are a dope visual artist too. Is it something that you learned in school, or that one too just came to you?
No, I learned it in school, but I think you know, when people come on interviews and like, I was singing since I was 2. No,
Yeah.
I wasn't singing since I was
Yeah.
2. But painting and drawing, I was drawing since I was like 3, 4. Like,
Mm.
it was something I was doing. I liked it. I just liked it. So the whole family was like, nah, this boy has to do art. So I just went to do art. It was just at that moment, we know how art in Ghana is, you know, the
Yeah.
appreciation for art wasn't
Yeah.
there. I wasn't a social person, so I couldn't connect with people. And art needs a lot of connections. You have to talk to people, buyers, curators. You have to travel, you have to meet people, you have to go to galleries, I didn't know how to do that. And I don't know how to talk to people. And so it was affecting my art. But I was doing portraits for clients. I was doing portraits for clients. Throughout the time I was doing music, I was doing portraits for clients. So I have clients that call me still and ask, do you still do portraits? If you want a portrait. And when I have time, I do it. Because it brings money and I like doing it too, you know. But I think after COVID, I was inspired by people like Amwako Boafo,
Charles.
Kingsley Jade, you know, sorry, Ella Nachwi. I was like, maybe it's possible. It can happen. Atukwe.
Yeah.
I was just
Charles.
inspired by them. I shout out to all these people, and I was like, you know what? Maybe I should take this a bit more serious. I was home. I wasn't doing anything. I couldn't perform. I had enough time on my hands. And that's when I started doing exhibitions. So, and since then, it's been like 2 or 3 exhibitions so far, which is good, yeah. And we sold some works.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's good.
Wow.
So it's like, yeah.
I think there was one at Front Back.
From that, no,
was it
Jamestown.
Yeah.
Coffee roast. It was not. There was one. There was one at Treehouse. Yes.
Yeah.
And then the one at Cocoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have this art. You did this art for Alibar.
Yes, the Alibar.
Yeah,
the one I
Alibar.
bought
That's
it,
that's dope.
Yeah, there's one on the opposite of Alibar. There's this restaurant opposite Alibar. They just opened it.
Bando.
La something. It has
Beer
some French
garden.
name. No, not beer garden. Beer garden is in front of it. Behind
Oh, okay.
Alibar, there's a restaurant. It's on the road. It's on the
Oh,
road.
yeah, it's a French.
It's a
joint.
French
Yeah.
name. Yeah.
They own it as well.
They own, yes. So I have one. I think that's my favorite. It has this big lady,
Yeah.
thick lady with a crown on her head.
I have to go and check it out.
Oh, you should go check it out. It's brilliant. It's all red. I love that painting.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
are you seriously now?
Now I'm
making
painting.
art?
Like right now, Seth, I'm painting. Like I'm painting. I'm working on fabrics, Ewe Kente fabrics. Trying to see how I can inculcate it in portraits, and you know, it's experimental.
Yeah.
You know, and I want to see how I can also paint it and bring it to life. Like I feel like I have a lot of ideas I want to express, and if I have time on my hands, then why not? You know, like try it. If it fails, it doesn't work, then it's cool. And I do have time on my hands, even though like I don't. I feel like I do. You know, so I wake up in the morning, like even it's in front of my bed. So if this is my bed,
Your easel is
the wall, my easel is on the wall. It's big like that. So when I wake up and I'm like, fuck, this thing is stressing me. Then I'll go and paint. I'll go and add something small, then stop. Go and add something small. Discipline is a lot, but when you see the progress every time, it makes you feel like, oh, let me add this. Let me add this. It's fun. It's fun. I lost the interest in art in a long time, you know, because I was like, what's this for? I'm growing, you know, Charlie. Yeah, your parents are telling
now
you to
Charlie-
have children.
Yeah, right now they
The-
have become
But now
serious.
the Amakoboafos and all that.
Yeah, they're making it.
What's the
they're
name of
making
the guy? Something Jesse.
Did you just see the photographer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know his work just got
Yeah.
featured with Bottega.
Yeah.
That's
Bottega
dope.
Veneta,
That's
yeah,
dope. Right now
so-
it's going. So like I'm also looking forward to learning more about it, like the business
Is,
aspect.
is it Bottega or Bauman?
I think it's Bauman. Yeah, no, you're right, Bauman, yeah. But then there was another one who was featured with Christian Dior, isn't it?
Yeah.
Another Ghanaian
Yeah.
artist.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
oh.
they're taking a lot of...
Yeah.
So, and now you have the exposure and the reach as well.
Yeah. But it's
So-
not Charlie. These people, they're not even looking at exposure
Yeah.
and things. They're looking at the work
Yeah.
and how inspired you are. And I don't even lie. I'm not inspired, or I wasn't inspired to create art back then. My focus was on the music. I understood the music more. Like it was easy for me, and I had so much to say and so much to do, and so like, and even till date, I'm still trying, and I don't want to force it.
Yeah.
But these people making these kind of arts, you can tell that there's an inspiration. How long they've been doing it, you can see the hard work that has gone into it. They are precise with their strokes. They are intentional with the colors they choose. They're intentional with the canvases they choose. They have the right people who need exactly what they want. They talk to the right people. They have gatherings on and with the right people. And I'm beginning to understand. So and honestly, shout out to Marco because he found a way of I'm invited to some of the dinners and it's letting me understand how that world is. It's a different world altogether, and you can tell that it's not just painting tool and just numbers. No, they don't. It's not about that. No. It's a whole different hard work, and they have teams who are working extensively. Hard work, disciplined, intelligence people who are working extensively on the artwork. The artwork is just like the music. The artwork is like just 20% of the work. The rest is money, intelligence, work, networking, talking to people, traveling, listening to curators and changing your art to when you have to. Charlie, it's a lot. It's a whole lot. I mean, the first time somebody told me about what goes into it, I was like, oh dear, why? It's okay. And you make a focus on this right now. I'll just be doing it for fun. If it happens, fine. If it doesn't, because it's a different world.
It is.
And it's time consuming. Extremely. I respect it so much. So much. I respect that work so much.
Fred.
Yeah. So we've covered your political side, your art side, but in general, what do you do for fun? What do you do to relax, to get away from needing to be impactful in the culture?
For fun, I would say I like hanging out with my friends. It's nice. It makes me feel, and it makes me connected to the realities of life. It makes me feel like I'm not the only person going through what I'm going through. It's nice. We talk about serious things. So shout out to Area Boys.
Shout
to Area Boys. We talk about the past, the present, the future. Charlie, so you right now, what are you doing? Like, how can you improve upon your this? You two, what are you doing? How can you improve on that? How can we do this together? What's the next thing? Let's take a trip here. Let's talk about buying something here. Let's talk about buying something there. Let's talk about investing something here. So that's one. I like doing that for fun. I like driving somewhere to places that I can be alone. I like it. I like being alone. It helps. I like the beach. It's nice. I just go roll up my trousers, walk into the beach, stand inside, and I'm listening to the songs that I've produced and the songs that are about to be released. It's a different space. I can yell over there. I can shout. I like going to quiet places too, places that I don't hear anything. Like, silence is expensive these days.
Very.
Yeah, everywhere there's noise. Like, even in your room, AC is noisy. Fridge or TV. Somebody at your window. Dog, chicken. It's hard to find a place where you can be no noise. I like that. And I like driving to places like that and just sitting down, hearing nothing. It's priceless nowadays because there's noise everywhere. Anyway, these are the same things that I like doing for fun. I would say traveling, but I can't say I'm doing traveling for fun.
It's expensive.
I'm doing it because because it's part of the job, but it is fun.
And
to travel.
You wish
I wish I
more?
could do it more. Because last year was fun. From France to this to Germany to Hamburg to Hungary, and then you go to Italy, visit your mom. It's nice. So, and even though it was work based, it was nice to know that I can just travel like that now. It's actually very weird that I'm saying it now. Some years back, I would have never thought I could do that.
Wow.
But yes, I would add traveling to it, but maybe I should just say it so that to come.
Cool.
But it's
Manifest.
expensive. Manifest.
How do you find inspiration?
Happenings, how I feel, and the happenings around me, and also to learning, just because I want to know about something, because I want to know more about it. I also find inspiration in fear. It inspires me a lot. Fear inspires me. The fear of knowing or not knowing. inspires me. I'm like, what is going to happen next year? What are we doing next year? Like, where are we going next year? What's the plan for next year? What ideas do you have that you think it can flow with the energies that are happening right now in our state of life? You know, so just knowing that could be there could happen, or not knowing what could happen, it puts me in a space of, okay, let's go to the blackboard, and I'm literally telling you blackboard, you know, blah, 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 blah. So fear inspires me a lot, and also knowing that I would love to have a family someday. It inspires me to work, you know, on myself, on my creativity, on my ideas, and bringing them to life. It inspires me. My fans, my fans inspire me so much. So much. Sometimes I can even forget about music like 3 months. There was a year I didn't even release a song for like 2 years or something. One fan came to me and was like, if you don't release a song this year, what I'll do to you? It was a whole essay in my DM.
Yeah.
And when I read it and I saw like how impactful it was to him, I was like, you know, let me get back to this shit, you know. So my fans inspire me. My mom inspires me a lot. So and my family also, they inspire me a lot, you know.
Nice.
And Charlie, being broke, the fear of being broke, it will inspire you. The fear of knowing that, Charlie, you know, you might not have money in the next 5 years if you don't do this and plan this now. You know, it's scary.
Anytime you come to mind, right? You know, two other artists, like I always, what's the word? I always juxtapose, you know, two other artists, you know, side by side. Anytime Worlasi, you know, when your name is said or when you come to mind, and they are Akan, Pure Akan, and Ayat.
Okay.
Ayat, Pure Akan, and Ayat. And this afternoon, right before we started this interview, I was thinking, why? And I think maybe it's because of how you guys blend the local dialect. Ayat is doing the Hausa, Akan is doing Chi, and you are doing, you know, what do you think about these two other acts? And have you guys worked together?
Yes, we have. We've worked on Hele Babas, you know, on our Akan's song.
Yeah.
We've worked Ayat. I've worked with Ayat with actually 2 songs with Ayat on his albums. So yeah, the 2 of them we've worked together. They are, I think they are extremely brilliant, and they are ahead of their time, and they are also preserving the culture. I love that about them. They are creating things. You know, there are some albums that when you go and listen to, you can take 1 song and sample it for 5 songs.
Yeah.
That's what I think Akan and Ayat is doing. They are making their creation so thick that it's difficult to process and digest to people, for people. It's not just the same thing. Boom, 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 boom. You know, it's like it's slightly, there's always something new about them. One of Akan's songs can be like 2-3 beats.
Yeah.
You know, and even the way he's singing, the timing he's singing, it could be a polyrhythm. They don't use the easy rhythms that we know, you know, and I think that is a concentrated production, be it lyrically, in terms of instruments or whatever. It's very concentrated, and in the future, I think the future producers or musicians will find a way of diluting it and use it as an inspiration. Same way I went to find inspiration from Osibisa, you know. And this is what I think about them. I think they are very concentrated artists, and they have golden brilliance in terms of creating. And I hope that in time, and this thing's will be money, it be money. Like, me, I not go lie, this thing so every morning. Because we understand. Last time there was this interview and David was like, I used $2 million to hype a song or an album. Maybe I'm wrong. And this was like, 4 or 5 years ago. $2 million.
Who?
Davido. I heard that somewhere. Maybe I'm wrong, but I saw a video like that. So I hope that one day we can find more investors I think it's just investors, but the gold is there. It's golden. These two people are golden, Charlie.
Dope.
Me, I fuck with them bad. Hard guys.
I'm just looking forward to seeing more of your work, to be honest.
Thank you.
Yeah, I feel like you're one of the very considered people in the space with the way that you express your thoughts. Even having you here in the interview, to see you walking without a team, there's no manager, there's no somebody waving sign. So that it tells, what it says to me is that you're putting in the work to educate yourself about the things that you care about and the things that you express opinions on. And that's always a gracious thing. So I appreciate that about you, and I am hoping that your work will transcend, the borders of this place, and also have a real impact on our society, because at the end of the day, Charlie, we're Ghanaian and this is where I'm from. So.
Last question from me. You have locks.
Yeah.
Do you get stopped by the Ghana police every now and then? Do they profile
But
you?
these days they don't. I don't know what happened since last year. They don't do that anymore. But before, it was crazy. But
Maybe
now,
the Achimota boy helped some
maybe
of that
I
conversation.
think after the Achimota thing, it reduced. So shout outs to him.
Yeah, shout.
Shout outs to you, man. Because these days they don't. But I've also learned how, because of this profiling, I have glasses. I have glasses that I use to produce, because the screen time is a lot. So I have this blue, whatever lens that I use to produce. I keep it in my car. So when I'm driving, I wear it. When you wear glasses,
You look like a nerd to them, like a scholar.
Yeah, they think you're a scholar. They let you go. And I wear watch. This kind of watches. It helps. It's always down there. Yeah. It helps. But now I'm saying is they'll look at me like, when I go past there, they'll catch me and worry me. But I make sure I have everything. So I'm safe. I'm good. And I love them, man, Charlie. I love Ghana police. Sometimes I love them. Sometimes they even have conversations with you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I love them. I love them, Charlie.
Charlie, dope. It's been
dope. Thank you.
A serious conversation.
Yeah.
What a flow! It was a serious flow.
Thank you.
Charlie, thank you for coming.
Thank you for
through the podcast for us.
Yes, sir.
Finally.
And we know you, dear. I know that you have at least one or two projects for us in 2024.
Oh yeah,
one or two, projects for us in 2024. So me personally, I'm looking forward to it. The Man and the God, an album, a project that I listen to at least once a month. I listen that project. And Charlie, keep on churning dopeness.
Thank you.
Keep on speaking your mind. Keep on showing up at protest and whatever, because like you said, Charlie, we already film.
Everybody they film.
And I believe that as an artist, you have to use your work to right wrongs, to change minds.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
And you are doing just that, More of him to you and yours, Charlie.
Thank you.
The If More Let's Divide podcast.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
We are through.
Dope.
Oh, Charlie,
You sure?
Wow.
If we get some picture before we left.
Yeah.
You always do that.